He's never been appointed a special master, but he has been called a special masturbator. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get on. A mandate. You get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
Handball, Brian.
Fuck me. Let's leave.
All right. Well, the yearly Who's Getting Tossed Out of John Hamm's Roto League ceremony took place last night, so we'll have coverage of that.
We all wait for this all year.
Keep in mind, it's John Hamm, it's Bill Simmons, it's Sal, it's Dameshek, Hench, it's all the usual suspects.
And being super hot doesn't save you. In fact, it could hurt you.
No, at the end, whoever wins gets to toss out anyone they want.
Solid.
Which is devastating for these guys because they look forward to it all year. It's a big part of their lives.
Days before the season.
Well, that's the bump, right? That they
The
do
bump
it.
is
You don't have time to join another league.
the day before the first NFL game or so, as close as they can get to it. They throw somebody out, and this is the difference between men and women. This is how men work this way. Not only does somebody could have paid $100, or you could make it a monetary thing, but so what? John Hamm gives you $200. What?
Sure.
It's a 1 millisecond of a Mercedes VO that he did earlier in the week. You know what I mean? It's got to sting.
Yeah, it's got to hurt equally.
And throwing somebody out is painful. It's painful the person gets tossed. Now, remember, you win. I don't know, there are 8 guys, 10 guys. You win, you pick whoever you want. And by the way, you can throw out the same person 5 years in a row. It doesn't much matter.
It would make sense if there's 13 guys for a 12-spot league. You'd want one guy out every year.
Yes. Mike August always goes there and chronicles it. Well,
But is he a competitor? No. Okay.
No, he eats.
Right.
And they compete.
Competitively.
Yeah.
They compete, he eats, everyone wins.
Yeah.
And so he shows up and films it. And then in the past years, they had a Survivor-esque puzzle to solve, which was the best.
Fucking awesome.
Because I think Sal picked two
other
guys to compete in a puzzle, but the puzzle spelled out a
Dameshek.
third person that got booted, which is genius. They had
Didn't Freddie Lynn cameo last year?
Freddie Lynn did a cameo with Fred Lynn, and he tossed out Simmons, I think, because Simmons is a huge Fred Lynn fan, so he got his idol as a boy to toss him out of the league. This year, evidently, John Hamm won last year, so now he gets to decide.
Well, didn't Hamm get booted years ago?
Does he exact
He's
revenge?
been booted. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Mike, was he booted last year? Mike August?
Who? Oh, John Hamm? No. Several years ago he was booted, very hilariously, but not since then.
Where was this secret meeting? Are you able to divulge that?
Secret meeting was at the Kimmel Wheelhouse Extra Special West Hollywood former home of Betty Davis Palace.
Ooh, what?
I don't know what that means, but all right.
That's the party house we go to in West Hollywood.
Oh, and everyone gathers. Oh, the party house.
Everyone gathers.
Everyone gathers, and there's some discussion, and then it comes time to toss somebody, right?
Yeah, there's a tension in the room because everybody's, like a cat on a hot tin roof. Who's it going to be this year? John Hamm's the reigning champ. He gets to make the pick. They sit down around the table, and sure enough, boy genius Dave Dameshek is this year's, excommunication, and deserved it.
Well,
hugely. I mean, he walked into this hugely.
I thought we were going to look at the tape and have that reveal who got
Well, I can
tossed.
set it up.
Oh, you can set it up? Okay, but...
Because if you just see it, you won't get it. You got to know why.
Well, it doesn't. I saw a tape of John Hamm tossing out Dameshek.
Yeah, but you don't know why he did it.
Okay.
Okay.
Find out.
Mike, you've been in showbiz for a while, right?
I don't understand visuals versus audio. There's no setup.
No, I want to hear John Hamm.
You just see him getting tossed
Okay.
out.
All right.
It's called setup in the business.
That's
Maybe you've heard of it.
And then it's set up and then reveal.
I tell you why it happens. Then when you see it, you go, "Oh wow, that's why it happened. I get it."
Okay.
That's not set up.
All right. I would have preferred to unveil.
We call it a ball tickle.
I'd like to. All right.
Well, go ahead and watch it and then ask me what happened. 'Cause you won't
Okay,
know.
we'll do that.
No need.
Now, spoiler alert: the guy tossed out is Dave Dameshek. All right,
Well,
here we
there's
go.
there's no, there's a bunch of guys at the table. It happens in 5 seconds.
Okay.
All right, I'd still prefer to have John say it, but all right, here we go.
Oh, wow. So we had to pick one person, and it's, how do you pick, right? You pick, what do you go, personal grievance? Like, the person that kicked me out, you pick that guy? You pick the person that whose team repeatedly beat you in the World Series? Do you pick a couple options there? You pick the guy that maybe never pays his fucking dues. I don't know.
Brad.
How do you pick? At a certain point, you just have to pick the fucking guy who lost the goddamn trophy that my name is not on.
Dameshek slams the computer down, finishes his beer.
Holy shit! Oh, I could invoke my legal rights. I can't be kicked out for 5 years after my first. Good luck with that.
John gets up,
the lawyer's not
gives him a hug to escort him out.
Man, that is an upset.
Oh, Shaq is
I would
upset.
say 8-10 to 1.
That's Sal.
No,
Yeah.
And you have to leave immediately.
You have to leave.
Yeah.
That's Dratch. That's Hench.
Holy shit.
so is the rule?
John wouldn't look at him.
Leave the beer.
Leave the beer.
Is the rule that you must leave immediately, or is that
Yes.
protocol? Like just something.
I don't know that there's.
They always leave immediately.
You have to leave.
Okay.
You've been voted off the island, and they Shaq packed up his computer and his beer and he left.
Now, maybe August can shed a little light too on what John was referring to in terms of the trophy.
Yes.
No, I don't feel like it.
I busted your chops for. All right, go ahead.
So you have to understand. So 2 years ago, Dameshek is the winner of the league, right? And the league has a trophy, and it's a commemorative trophy, meaning that every year the next winner gets the trophy, and you get to put your name on the plaque. So it's a cumulative list of the winners. It's the only tangible thing the league has.
Stanley
so Dave,
Cup.
careless as he is, what?
Stanley Cup style, right?
Stanley Cup style, exactly. So Dave, careless as he is, throws the trophy in the back of his trunk, leaves it there, right? And at some point, gets in a car accident, and his car is crashed in the back and totaled. And what happens is, if you've had a couple cars totaled, when they tow that car away, you never see that car again.
Yeah, that's that.
Right? You don't even know where it goes.
Yeah.
It disappears into, Junklandia. You'll never, if anything that's in that car, it gets crushed with that car. Dave didn't even remember that the trophy was there, and so now the trophy is gone. So it doesn't say anything, by the way, right? So then Hamm wins the league last year. They have the Shakey's pizza party where they make the presentation, and when Dave is called upon to present the trophy, he suddenly remembers, oh, I don't have a trophy anymore. It's gone, and it's never coming back. It's a piece of memorabilia that will never, ever be found. And so that carryover is now why John Hamm tossed Dave Dameshek out of the league, because you don't cheat John Hamm out of hardware, right?
No.
He doesn't have that much hardware.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't have enough Emmys.
Listen.
Well, he's got probably 5 Emmys. But he doesn't have an Oscar.
That's
now
true.
He can have a league championship trophy.
Now, not only, first things first, this is like, somebody will buy you a gift certificate or a sweater or something, and you throw it in your car and it rolls around in there, and then 4 months later you pick the person up. Your greatest nightmare is that thing floating around
With
in your
the tag
car,
still on it.
because it kind of shows you don't give a shit about them or the gift. So the fact that it was rolling around in the trunk, not on the ride home from the ceremony, I'm guessing, it was probably several weeks or months rolling around in the trunk, shows a blatant disregard for the sport of fake football.
Plus, there's a lesson to be learned, because years ago, Dave, if you remember, got Garagos to write him a letter on another time that he won, exempting him from being kicked out going forward. He just got a unilateral letter that gave him a lifetime pass, a get-out-of-kick-out free card, which nobody recognized, right, but him. So he thinks he can just act with impunity. He thinks I can just throw the trophy in the back of the trunk, and if I lose it, I'm Teflon. Nobody can touch me. And John Hamm just proved otherwise. Dave's literally yelling about his letter as he's walking out the door last night.
I feel like Mark Garagos has.
It wouldn't have mattered.
I feel like he has bigger things to do than draft letters for Dameshek about fairy tale football.
Yeah, it's a top 10. It's not top 3.
I see.
Priority.
According to Dave.
But it does show a certain laissez-faire, because if I had this trophy, this is bigger. You know, look, and you could buy Mercedes or you could buy a Ferrari, but John Hamm can buy 30 Mercedes and 30 Ferraris. This trophy means something. There's a sanctity of it.
Yeah.
And you let it roll around, and now it's gone. Now it is incumbent upon you to have a picture of the trophy and bring it into whatever the place is that makes the trophies and go, I need an exact knockoff of this trophy, because I shall be presenting it to one John Hamm in several weeks. Showing up empty-handed.
Does that sound like what something Dave Dameshek
doesn't sound like Dave Dameshek.
He doesn't even tie his shoes.
But to be...
You think he's going to go out and get a replica of the trophy that he's going to fool everybody with?
Well,
or at the very least.
It's kind of on you, though, because Hamm is going to want you to present it to him, and you're going to be empty-handed. It's not like you can forget about it. That's looming. All right, so a little window into
This
Shaq.
is why he wouldn't even come to the phone today. Nor will he ever.
He's too angry.
It's a shame that
Desperately trying to join another league.
He's angry, but he should be ashamed. That's the point.
That's a very good lesson.
Most everyone I know who's angry should be ashamed. That's what I want to say. It goes from homeless people to family members. Those who are angry should let some shame wash over you first. All right. Thank you for the update, Mike.
And on a side note, you will be very excited to know that Brad, your favorite attendee of Sunday football, had not one, but 2 medical episodes since last year, and is just in incredible form for the 2022 season. I predict there's going to be some incredible events coming away from Brad this year. He was in rare form. I literally thought he had a heart attack halfway through the
Brad shows up, eats everyone else's food, but the biggest sticking point I have with Brad is literally adhesion. He doesn't. Everyone else drinks a beer or a cocktail. He drinks Hawaiian Punch or High C or some other weird, bizarre 8-year-old version of some sort of... When's the last time you've seen an adult drink punch?
Never.
I'm sure it's still sold.
Now, he drinks the stickiest liquid on the planet and has trouble controlling his arms. So he's like
flails.
Well, he's one of these guys. Like, you guys know these guys where they're like, I know many of these guys. They're like standing at your shop. They're in the kitchenette and they're eating a hoagie and it's just kind of like dripping on the floor and they're just sort of standing there like talking to you. And then at some point they'll put the hoagie in their hand and start gesturing like, oh, wait, you ever see that movie Braveheart? Mel Gibson's up on that horse. It's like, and I'm like following the thing. I'm not going, did you get a napkin or something? It's just, and then they do this thing where they go, oh, I didn't see the mayonnaise.
My 6-year-old
It's like, yes, this is what 6-year-olds do. Brad gets the can of Hawaiian Punch. He starts gesticulating and swinging his arms. It's slopping everywhere. It's the next day.
Ants.
You will lose a shoe. You could walk on to that in fucking lineman boots laced up to your shin, and you step over it, the boot remains. Your foot will fucking slide right out of it like an NFL guy making a hard cut. It's like it's sticky
bugs love Hawaiian
everywhere.
Punch.
And I'm like, Brad, you can be here. You can drink Hawaiian Punch or High C. You just have to clean up. You can't slop it all over the place.
Give him a sippy cup.
Oh, you're going to love this development. And I don't even know how it's possible because he's a relatively young man. Somehow he now has dentures. And he went in the ocean last week and got hit by a wave, and they knocked out his dentures. And so now he's got that weird sucking thing, you know.
I just this is
Sure,
more,
appreciate you telling
his whole
more,
face like collapses.
more fruit punch on the floor.
pizza
That's
sauce
all.
is coming out on both sides of the mouth.
That's all I
mean,
hear.
he is going to be a champion this year in your new warehouse. Just a champion of edibles and drinkables.
Big white Carrera marble floor. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to go get some grout sealant. Mike, thanks for the update. As per usual.
Hook 'em tied this weekend.
Yeah.
Roll horns. We're going to be there.
All right. Yeah, we're going to be at the game, which is My Brain is Better Than Your Google should be the name of this next segment because Chris is pumped. We're going to the game. We're going to Alabama-Texas game when we're out there in Austin. And so we're talking about the game. Scott, one of our friends, is going to be out there. The Grizz going to be out there. Great hang. Great guy to have a beer with. I'm pumped. So go, what time's the game start?
Uh-oh.
Chris goes, 9 a.m.
No.
And I go,
bright and early.
No. 9 a.m. I checked. I said,
oh, he's screaming in there.
I checked.
I hear a
9
voice.
a.m. I checked. I said, maybe there's some TV coverage time.
Game day starts at 9
East
a.m.
Coast or something. I said,
Tailgate.
no, I checked. I said, what's the time difference between here and there? 2 hours. I said, I bet it's 11.
Yeah, it's
And
R9.
It's not. It's R9, and he checked, and it is. So there it is. Now, he didn't argue with me, but I'm saying,
I'm hearing different,
here's what I'm saying.
literally.
Nah, just when he checked. But the point is your brain will beat Google if you just sort of go, they're not starting a game like this at 9 a.m.
It's too early.
They're not.
I don't know who he's talking to. He's talking in there.
Right. The point is
Chris, did you have thoughts?
you knew. Here's the deal, Brian. You knew the game didn't start at 9.
No,
I knew the
no
game didn't
games ever
start at
start.
9.
I assumed the game wouldn't start at 9.
You can glean all this stuff through experience in life, but there's always outliers like TV coverage or some version of something.
So occasionally there'll be an NFL game in London, right?
Right,
And like
right.
we see the Jaguars and someone. And that'll be at 9 a.m.
Right.
But can I tell you one thing that you will be missing at the game? I'm sorry to say. The $1 Million Band from Alabama will not be there.
What?
You want to know why? Take a look at that picture. Ben, put it up. So you see that little crowd of people way up at the top of the nosebleeds of the stadium?
Yes.
That's where Texas puts the opposing team's band.
That's
Wow.
pretty common.
I like
And
it.
they only
common.
get
Yeah.
like 500 tickets or 400 tickets or something, and they put them way at the top. And the $1 Million Band apparently does not take kindly to this shit. So they said, you know what? Fuck it. We're not going. And we don't have enough tickets because there's like 500 people in the band. It's way at the top. It's not worth their time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yes, Dawson.
Yeah, this is pressing. I can't be the only one who heard August say "hook 'em tide."
Isn't it Roll Tide?
This is it's Roll Tide, Hook 'em Horns, but this is the great mystery of Mike August. He bets on college football all the time. He can't possibly not know this. But then again, it's Mike August. Could he be saying Hook 'em Tide?
If you go back and listen to the game tape, he also said roll horns. He did it intentionally.
Okay, it wasn't intentional. I missed that part.
In this part,
Thank God.
In a Po Buddy's Nerfect kind of
Yes,
way.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
He knew what he was
He
doing.
knows
Then it was
college
just his
football.
great radio comedy skills shining to light.
Yeah. I love the fact that I couldn't explain to him why we wanted John Hamm to reveal
Right.
who he threw out versus him, which I thought
That's
was a
kind of
given.
the idea of every video.
It's kind of the idea of almost all show business,
Yeah.
if you kind of think about it, since the days of old Greece.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for letting
we
me get
got
that
that. All right. Then there got some hot Flowbee talk.
Oh, boy.
There's something out of the University of Minnesota Medical School. Remember, it seemed like only yesterday I was saying, what happened to Paul Bunyan and Bud Grant
Literally
in Minnesota?
yesterday.
When did you guys turn into the most wokest pussies on the planet? They do their white coat ceremony. This is, I guess, graduation for doctors
Right,
to be
grad
people that
students,
are
maybe.
leaving medical school.
Because
or-
doctors wear white coats.
Yes, or entering medical school. And they have a pledge that they now have cooked up that these are all
First, do no
physicians
harm.
or budding physicians.
Yeah,
yes.
so this is the class oath that was written by the students in consultation with their faculty advisors.
So if we're ready, With gratitude,
That's the oath.
we, the students of the University of Minnesota Twin Cities Medical School class of 2026, stand here today among our friends, families, peers, mentors, and communities who have supported us in reaching this milestone.
Okay.
Our institution is located on Dakota land. Today, many Indigenous people throughout the state, including Dakota and Ojibwe, call the Twin Cities home. We also recognize this acknowledgement is not enough. We commit to uprooting the legacy and perpetuation of structural violence deeply embedded within the healthcare system. We recognize inequities built by past and present traumas rooted
All right,
in
hold on.
white
There's
supremacy.
structural violence that's built into the medical healthcare system.
Why wouldn't the architectural school or the engineering school do this? What are they supposed to do about what land they're on?
Oh, now we're getting into the structural violence that's in the system.
Never heard that.
I thought these guys were doing no harm.
Well, as we know, violence has sort of meandered away from the original definition.
All right, sorry, you can continue.
Rooted in white supremacy,
Oh, you got to
colonialism,
rewind it. No, it's rooted in white supremacy.
past and present traumas rooted in white supremacy, colonialism, the gender binary, ableism, and all forms of oppression. As we enter this profession with opportunity for growth, we commit to promoting a culture of anti-racism, listening and amplifying voices for positive change. We pledge to honor all Indigenous ways of healing that have been historically marginalized by Western medicine. Knowing that health is intimately connected to our environment, we commit to healing our planet and communities. We vow to embrace our role as community members and strive to embody cultural humility. We promise to continue restoring trust in the medical system and fulfilling our responsibilities as educators and advocates. We commit to collaborating with social, political, and additional systems to advance health equity.
Yeah. All right.
What do we clock that at?
Fucking my radar detector says boring as shit. Also, just fucking keep going, idiots. You're fucking up. First off, you don't want a bunch of lemmings as doctors. We just fucking ran into that with COVID. We had a bunch of fucking scared people who didn't want to try out alternative forms of medications because you guys scared the fuck out of them because they were indoctrinated into your fucked up weird cult about, structural racism. And it is weird. It's very Orwellian, the repeat after me. I'm assuming everyone who wants to be a doctor just wants to help other people and get paid for it. This commitment to the indigenous people in the land, and then they have to respect the indigenous people's medical practices. So, if I want to give you chemo, but you want to rub tree bark on your asshole, I have to step back and respect that. Or you want to rub some beads or something? What the fuck? Woo! This feels. We've come a long way in a short period of time in this world. And that's why normal people need to stand up and go, what the fuck are you talking about? And shut up. And also, this thing where we're constantly beating everyone over the head with the systemic and structural racism that it affects the environment, it affects the hospital, everything is like, does this thing of trying to talk every young person into the fact that we live in this heinous racist society, is there something good that comes out of the other end of that?
More tolerant healthcare? I mean, what does that even mean? Is healthcare intolerant?
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, I'm all for, when we talk about an education or anywhere, feel free to say, we recognize the past, we learn from the past, we keep moving forward. But when you drag the past to the present and graft it on, it just seems disingenuous because it's different. It's not happening.
Also, look, they just had this thing, and we were talking about it, I think, or maybe I was talking about it with Mark, but D.C., Mariel Bowser didn't want the mayor didn't want to reopen schools to people who weren't vaccinated. And then she found out that 40% of the people that were black children weren't vaccinated. And then she realized now this is structural racism because you're taking this large group of people who are of one color. You're not permitting them to go to school. And then she's saying no
hybrid.
Nothing. Just you get vaccinated, you don't show up. And maybe she's backed off of that because the optics were explained. I do always like the idea. First things first. We have this notion of like where people go like, I want everyone to wear masks. And then everyone in LA goes, oh, fuck that. And then they go, all right, don't wear masks. Well, is it a pandemic or isn't it? Like you go, okay, LAX, everyone's got to show their ID and they're not going through security. And then someone goes, well, a higher percentage of black people don't have an ID. You don't go, oh, well, then fuck it.
Yeah,
you go, it's security. Like it's a pandemic or it's not. It's either dangerous for kids to return to school without being vaccinated or it's not. You don't get to fucking lick your finger and go, who's this affecting? Like, what's the optics? How bad a pandemic is it if you go, nobody comes back up until they get vaccinated? And then someone goes, it's 40% of black kids. And you go, oh.
Never mind.
Oh, never mind.
Doors open.
Well, never mind. It's never mind at LAX. With the metal detector, you know what I mean? It's just like it's a fucking rule. You want to fly or don't fly. It's unsafe not to check ID at the airport. But this has a lot of movement in it. It can go and flow.
Let's talk about the initial movement, the biggest wave of them all. Do you know how bizarre it was doing news in Market 2? During the summer of 2020, saying COVID, lockdown, another giant gathering tonight in downtown LA, another giant gathering in Washington, D.C. It was very surreal to report those things at the same time.
Yeah, well, that's where I lost it with Fauci, because Fauci wouldn't say that's a bad idea. He just said large gatherings were bad ideas. Then somebody, Rand Paul or somebody said, well, what about Black Lives Matter? It's like, why are you asking me? I don't have any thoughts about that. It's like, all right, well, now you're political, and now I don't have to listen to everything you say. But then you get into this, all right, 40% of black kids in the D.C. area, 40% plus in this age group, are not vaccinated. Is that systemic racism? Is that medical racism? What is that?
We don't know.
You got a black mayor. Everyone's black. It's very progressive. The word's out.
There's mobile units.
How much easier could you make it to be vaccinated? So then, like at a certain point, who's that on? Like I know everything is just it's just a more systemic racism. It's like, or they choose not to be vaccinated. Is that kind of on them at a certain point?
Well, the precedent exists, right? You have to, Gina, you probably know, I know, Tessa couldn't enroll in school without getting her vaccinations,
right.
Measles, mumps, whatever.
Right.
Like the precedent is there. You've already established that this is the barrier to entry, a very flimsy
If your
one,
vaccinations aren't up to date, you don't go back in.
Right. So whose fault is it if this group chooses not to be vaccinated? Is that the MAGA hat wearers? Like, whose
fault is it? At this
fault
point, it's a good question.
Well, I would argue it's their fault, and they choose not to do it. And you can then look into those reasons, but you can't blame the system. You have to go find out why they don't want to get vaccinated and then talk them into it. Yeah. That's how it works. All right. So that was crazy and scary and Orwellian. Now, hot Flowbee talk.
Oh, boy.
Stromer came in here earlier. He's beautiful. Don't hate him.
He's a specimen.
And he's got the beautiful flowing locks, the beautiful blonde locks.
Yeah.
And talking about he used to get his hair cut at a place in Chicago called Sonny and Shears.
Oh,
very clever.
My God.
Yeah. And he said, where do you
I got pomade.
He said, where do you get your hair cut? And I said, anything that ends with the word cut.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I could go super cut, I go sports cut, I go cheap cuts, whatever. It has to, I stay in hotels that end with the word roof. And then I get my haircut place that ends with the word cuts.
Yeah.
And whatever's closest, wherever I am, wherever I move to. And then he asked if I've ever done the Flowbee. And I said, no, because I've been culturally marginalized by the Flowbee. I said, you got the curly hair. Blacks can't use the Flowbee. Guys with the Jew flow cannot use the Flowbee. And I said, go find a Flowbee commercial. You'll see everyone. Beautiful flowing locks.
Right.
There is no black man in that commercial. There's no Jew fro in that Flowbee commercial. The hair must
How would
flow
that even work?
into the bee. Does not work. And then I thought, I didn't know how culturally divisive.
Oh, boy.
The Flowbee was. And then I thought, let's think back on the best TV show of my childhood. Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh.
Only one cast member, only one sweat hog, including Mr. Kotter himself, could avail himself and use a Flowbee.
John Travolta?
That's right.
Yeah.
Show me the cast.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Kinky.
It's only Travolta. Only 1 out of 5 of the sweat hogs, including Mr. Kotter, could use the Flowbee.
Oh.
And I thought, man, that is a bad batting average. And I never really thought about the racist overtones of the Flowbee. But I think in a world where shoes can be racist and, whiteboards or blackboards can be racist, I would say the Flowbee could be racist.
Yeah.
Justice moves slowly, but finally we're here where we can call the Flowbee out.
Yeah, I'm calling them out.
Take a real close look at this picture and notice that all of the white guys are going, "Hey, what do you want from me?" And the one black guy is going, I'm the black guy.
Yeah. That's his inner monologue, you're right.
So then I thought, what would be the best cast for a Flowbee? I think Full House off the top of my head. I think that's a pretty good Flowbee cast.
Strong.
Yeah, I was.
Now, the problem is no woman has ever used a Flowbee. They show them using the Flowbee in the commercial. I've not yet met the woman.
No.
There's 2 women I haven't met. I have not met the woman who would use a Flowbee.
Right.
I've not met the woman who stands front and center at the Home Depot paint counter while the guy is 2 steps back. What the guy does at the paint counter is he does what sidewinder kickers do in the NFL. You take 2 big steps back and 1 step to the left, and that's where he stands while she's pointing at all the paint sticks and swatches and whatnot. And I thought deep dive, but the cast of 80s detective show Riptide was it was a good Flowbee cast. Yeah. You never heard of Riptide? It looks like a made up 80s cop show. It was I think good looking dudes with the one nerd guy, and they lived on a boat.
Okay.
That was Riptide.
Cool.
It's hard to imagine why it didn't stand the test of time.
I have one. Wait, is that supposed to be like an alien at the bottom?
I don't know how that worked out.
I have a suggestion for the cast that could use the Flowbee. Let's stay in the 80s. Let's hop on over to Family Ties.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of shiny hair. I have sent Ben a picture, but very shiny hair on Family
Well,
Ties.
they look for that. Family Matters, maybe the worst.
Oh, you're absolutely right. They don't have Meredith Baxter Birney.
Yeah, now you can't go Good Times. You can't go the all black
That's
cast.
the point.
That's the point. That's the point. Has there ever been a black man who's used a Flowbee? I mean, maybe
Al Sharpton?
Yeah, maybe Al Sharpton.
Oh, with the press.
Maybe Cat.
Little Richard? Oh, Cat Williams.
Cat Williams. You know what I mean? I think that would get gummed up. I don't think
Lenny Kravitz would have the best chance.
Half black.
At a Flowbee.
Yeah.
I don't feel like his hair
It
would
could
work.
get long
Zoe
enough,
Kravitz.
I believe.
Mm-hmm. There's structural racism in the medical community and in the Flowbee community.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's high time
everywhere.
somebody said something.
Is what I'm saying.
By the way, if you're going to go to a salon, you know what it really should be called? Cut and dry.
Yeah.
It's just cut and dry.
There's got to be one.
There has to be.
But still good.
Thanks.
All right, let me tell you about Keeps. Over 50 million men in the U.S. experience male pattern baldness. You want to be able to use that Flowbee, man. In most cases, hair loss can be prevented and treated. Keeps, a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair convenient. Virtual doctor consultations and medications delivered straight to your door every 3 months in discreet packaging, 24/7 care and support. Keeps has a network of expert medical advisors, prescribers, and specialists as well. Low cost, starts at just $10 per month. Treatment plans are typically half the cost of the pharmacy prices. Prevention is key. Treatment can take 4 to 6 months to see results. So act fast and get going with Keeps. Right, Dawson?
If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to KEEPS.com/Adam to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's KEEPS.com/Adam to get your first month free. KEEPS.com/Adam.
Well, the most popular satire news website in the world is something called the Babylon Bee, and editor-in-chief Kyle Mann is going to be in studio right after this.
In the spirit of Murrow, Jennings, Cronkite, here's another great moment in local news.
There are phrases we use every day without a second thought. Now we're giving them more than a second thought. Watch what happens when I tell people what basket case really means. It was first used during World War I to describe a person who had lost all 4 of their limbs and had to be carried in a basket. Oh, yeah. A little darker than I thought. A basket case.
That's a great moment in local news. Now, back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Kyle Mann, editor-in-chief, Babylon Bee, has joined us. BabylonBee.com is where you go. Good to see you, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
We was talking before the show about some of the Babylon Bee satire that sort of quickly became reality.
Yeah, the fulfilled prophecies, we call it.
Yeah, and it always strikes me, I brought it up a few times, but some of the stuff that's going on today would seem like satire not 20 years ago, but 18 months ago. And the one that always strikes me is the one where Prager says that the ACLU or somebody wants to cancel the lowercase t because it looks like a cross. And I go, that sounds nuts, but it doesn't sound nuts if you heard that story today. So now Babylon Bee is tasked with coming up with satire, but people must be getting confused because we're in that place now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so difficult to write satire in 2022 because you're not just trying to come up with something funny. You're trying to come up with something that people aren't actually going to do next week,
right?
Or haven't already done last week.
Well, we have some examples of stuff that happened. Now, you know, if you wait 10 years, everything's going to happen. But some of these examples that Dawson has are Babylon Bee headlines, and then the reality happened days later.
From September 21st, 2021, the Babylon Bee said, Border Patrol loses horse privileges. Must now bang 2 empty halves of coconuts together.
Funny.
2 days later, the White House says border officials in Del Rio will no longer use horses.
Oh. Half true.
That whole story to me just sort of encapsulates this moment and everything that's wrong with this moment, that Border Patrol whipping Haitians. It's weird because there's certain things, I guess we're all wired a little differently, but there's certain things that just fucking bug the shit out of you that doesn't seem to bother. And then there's your version of what bothers you. That story kills me because the Border Patrol were doing their job, and we turned it into whipping Haitians. And then every fucking politician got up there and said, the shades of the South, you know, and it's like, first off, it was so discernible. They had photographs. The person that took the photograph said he wasn't doing it. This is information that's gettable, and then you spin it into this crazy, you know, still in the grips of racism thing. And then we attack the guys who are doing their job, trying to protect our fucking border, and then we do the knee jerk where we cancel the horses, which is like, should you wait and see if they did it? But no, we're just going to cancel that. And then later on, when they're cleared, we go, not done with them because we don't want any egg on our face. So we'll have to find some administrative thing that they did to say that they were disciplined, even though they're not going to be disciplined for what we said they did. And also then, how about the guys that are saying they're whipping Haitians on a horse like they're some plantation master or something? It's like, you ever think about them? Like, in their fucking family? Like, is that... You don't care? Just call everyone a racist? And no. Those guys are probably going to sue everybody, I'm guessing. But it's a really weird, ugly thing that we took people that were trying to do something for this country, threw them under the bus and call them racist, and then agitated everybody. It's also sort of the end of journalism. Like, ladies of The View, you're allowed to look at pictures and go, nothing to see. You don't all have to jump in and like these guys are racist.
But it's such. You go ahead.
The picture's provocative. By all means, do a little more research.
Well,
Dig.
and that's the thing. I mean, of course you don't have to do it, but it's such a slam dunk. It's such low hanging fruit. Here's 5 seconds. It was like the kid with on the steps in D.C. who got a big payout.
It's Kyle Rittenhouse. But here's my whole point. Why? Okay, it's low hanging fruit. Like, here's an opportunity. Why is the president of the United States looking for opportunities to make this country more racist? That's my bigger question. Yes, it is easy for Al Sharpton. But what about Biden? Why is he looking for an opportunity? You were supposed to get everyone back together. Remember that discussion back in the day? We're going to heal, going to come back together.
That's why you were voted in?
Also, they can't hire cops. I don't know if they're going to be able to hire Border Patrol guys anymore. Like, who would take this job anymore? You know what I mean? Who would want to do this job?
Like the Minutemen job specifically?
Yeah, now that you can't whip Haitians.
Border Patrol.
Yeah.
Like, would you sign? Well, my kid, if he said, I want to be a cop in Chicago or go work for the Border Patrol, I'd go, fuck that. Get a job at Color Me Mine. Call it a fucking life. I'm sorry, Dawson, you got me fired up.
In March of this year, the Babylon Bee reported that Amy Schumer is horrified to learn that you can now get slapped for bad jokes. 3 days later, Amy Schumer alludes to taking a month break after being traumatized by Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Wow. That's oddly specific, too.
Xi Jinping criticizes Trudeau's heavy-handed approach. That was a Babylon Bee headline in May of this year.
Funny.
8 days later, actual news, China slams Canada over Hong Kong and Ottawa protests.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Prescient.
Surviving inflation from the Babylon Bee. 9 easy ways to save money on your Thanksgiving this year. 10 days later, NBC suggests not having Thanksgiving turkey this year to deal with inflation costs.
I'm going to say this. I'm putting that up there with the news stories now. Like, how are you going to beat the heat? However the fuck I want, bitch. I've got it figured out. We're fine. I understand things. When you're in your car, roll down the windows. Okay, what else?
Slow down.
Let me put a little laminate in my wallet. Figure this one out. Drink water.
2 words, wet washcloth.
Yeah, it's like they do this thing where it's like Thanksgiving, that those mashed potatoes have gone up 31 cents. Like, all right, I'll either eat them or I won't. We'll have a kitchen table discussion with no food on it.
Right.
And I will discuss with my family whether we can afford giblets this year. Jesus Christ, I know. And by the way, the tip of how to survive Thanksgiving and save a few bucks: don't eat turkey. That's up there with the hangover. I gotta remember, don't drink.
Right.
Okay, well, that's a non-starter.
That's
you know
nice.
the best way to not get an STD?
That's probably partial to what I want to do.
Saying remove items from your table that you really want for Thanksgiving. I get it. It's a money saver. You know?
Yeah.
Best way to save on travel?
Don't go
travel.
anymore.
Do not leave the apartment. That is the best way. Sorry, Dawson.
The Babylon Bee headline read, Democrats vow to follow the science of whichever union donates the most money.
That's good.
They did that in February of 2021.
That is a fucking good one.
3 months later, powerful teachers union influenced CDC on school reopenings, emails show.
Oh, now there's more emails of the LA Unified. Remember the heroes? The heroes have emails
They hate you.
out there saying, find the dissenters and fuck them up. Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Chris can find. Have you heard of that story, Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wild. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's how it works.
Yeah.
It's like, it's one. Look, there's two ways you got to oppress. One is you make the decree, no walking on the beach, and then the other is you got to take down the people who disagree
Stand
with
your
you.
way.
That's who it is. So the heroes at LA Unified wanted to go after the parents that wanted to keep the schools open.
Oopsie.
Awesome. Let's go ahead. Just
Good job putting it in writing.
Call them racist. Yeah, where is that? They email somewhere. Chris can find it. Anyway.
The Babylon Bee said, Lego unveils new genderless bricks with no male-female connectors. 5 months later, Lego commits to removing gender bias and harmful stereotypes from its toys.
There you go.
Oh.
What is it? are all stereotypes harmful? Like, why is that? Why is a stereotype? I mean, I don't know. Germans are fast drivers.
Podcasters have huge dicks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tale as old as time.
Black people got faster than white people. Is it all harmful?
Yes, some of those I sure hope they keep around for my benefit.
I'd like a few of those. Sorry. You done, Dawson?
There's a couple more.
All right.
The Babylon Bee called this one weird. Many Southwest planes flying banners reading, "Let's go, Brandon." 19 days later, Southwest pilot is heard telling passengers, "Let's go, Brandon," at the end of the flight.
Got your finger on the
my
pulse.
God.
It's pretty close.
There's going to be, I haven't been to a college football game in Texas in a while, but there's going to be some "Let's go, Brandon" chants out there.
It is Austin, but for sure.
Yeah.
It is Austin, that is true. But it's sort of the San Francisco.
They draw
of
shit
Texas.
kickers from all over the
They
state.
will. There'll be some "Let's go, Brandons." All right, one more, Dawson.
In March of 2021, the Babylon Bee read, "For convenience, vaccine passport can now be tattooed on your hand or forehead." 5 months later, inked up, man gets tattoo of COVID-19 vaccine QR code on his arm.
Smart.
So Babylon Bee, what is the physical process? Like, do you guys, seems like a job you could do from outside the office.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, we got a lot of writers all over the country who pitch things electronically, but we've also got a local office in Southern California where we do a lot of writing and punch up, for some of our comedy sketches or, working out a headline, stuff like that. So.
Is there an avenue like, I guess famously, I don't know if everyone did it, but I think Jay Leno would take jokes for his monologue. Like people would send them in.
Oh, yeah.
And he'd use them, he'd pay them, or he wouldn't use them.
Right.
Is there...
Letterman, SNL did that, yeah.
Did Letterman do that too?
Sure, yeah. Well, we actually have people that subscribe to our website. They have a special inbox for those because we get thousands. Ever since the Babylon Bee launched, every day you get hundreds and hundreds of those headline submissions. And they're mostly not good,
Well, and like The Onion always said, what people don't understand is like, that, in the writer's room, that was a brilliant headline. Why did it make it? It's a headline. What do we do with the actual
copy?
story?
It's something that has to be developed. There's so many considerations. Like, there's been all these websites like The Onion for years, so you got to, filter out the ones that have already been done. Maybe there's something that's a good joke, but it's not the right timing for it. So, the joke writing process, it's all of those fun considerations.
I think I was the butt of an Onion headline.
Ooh.
Yes.
I think you were. Yeah.
That's good.
I think it was a parasite that rejected me.
It regretted choosing you as a host.
Oh, that's
and
good.
This is 10 years.
Yeah.
This is 10 years old.
Parasite regrets choosing Adam Carolla as host. Strong headline.
What year's that from?
That's from 2006.
06?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's funny.
Why the hate? What was I doing? I was just doing a fucking morning radio show.
Zeitgeist, man. Come on, that's
listen,
you made it moment.
It's a tip of the cap.
Yeah.
It's like
it's an honor. That's good.
It's like being roasted by Don Rickles. But still, you do stop every once in a while and go, well, they didn't construct this out of nothing.
Yeah, what the fuck?
They needed, I needed to be a person that was not worthy of a parasite.
Do you want to hear the first paragraph?
Yeah, because
are you sure?
I do.
No,
but
kidding.
here's the thing too. There was a time when one would have to kill a family member or set a church on fire or something. Now it's just douchebag
He's out
from that
there.
thing.
Yeah, on the radio, yeah.
Right.
Say mean things on the radio.
This is about a hookworm. It says, just 2 weeks after settling on Adam Carolla as its next host, a Los Angeles area hookworm whose life cycle depends on the performance of the comic's personality's digestive system said it is beginning to question Carolla's ability to stay fresh and produce consistent quality nutrients on a daily basis.
Wow.
Ouch! God damn! Wait, I think we have a...
Well, let me say this, the Onion bitches.
We have a quote from Hookworm.
You guys crap out a three-word phrase. I do fucking 4 hours of morning radio every day. That's a lot of content there,
Yeah. It doesn't take much to be a decent host. You just have to sit there, generate a couple cell lines every few minutes, and let me systematically tunnel my way through your internal organs, said the Necator americanus hookworm. I've been trying to suck the life out of Adam, but it's difficult when there's absolutely no life to work with. God dumb.
mean.
He mean-spirited. I don't like it.
I'm amused by it, but it's
You
still,
must have said something during the show because it references the morning
This
show.
is in the Ching Chong.
I am.
No.
Oh, is it the Ching Chong?
No,
thing?
I'm joking. It would have been that year, but who
That
knows?
was Dameshek. The point is it is interesting.
Yeah, what did you say that was
like,
controversial in 2006?
Well,
I don't know, but that wouldn't be no life.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand the connection that they're making.
Also, I was a P1 listener, and I don't remember this bit. The hookworm first came into contact with Carolla during his morning radio program while Carolla was handling human fecal matter as part of a popular recurring segment on his show, which I think is probably a joke.
I stood next to Adam almost the entirety of that run of radio. I don't remember handling human fecal matter.
Yeah, I think they've gone off the trail a little bit on this
the copy
one.
went off the rails a
Who
little bit.
wrote this article?
see.
Let's see what's become of them.
They don't. They don't put bylines. So
Oh,
it's anonymous,
cowards.
we don't do bylines either.
Of course.
Cowards.
All of you.
Well, I guess nowadays you'd get doxxed,
Canceled
right?
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Kyle, do you have a background in writing or comedy, or what would you call it?
Mostly just Babylon Bee. Yeah, I was in like construction sales and started doing this on the side.
Damn.
And I was writing 3 or 4 headlines a day, just firing it off, and I liked it so much more. So I quit my job and started doing this full time.
Did you get approached by someone from the Bee? Or?
Well, I just started open submitting headlines the day that the Babylon Bee launched. So I started doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, just show up. I mean, you didn't physically
Or
go
don't.
to the office, but I just mean start handing people stuff. People in positions of power and in charge of hiring and the boss man, if they find somebody who can do something for them, like somebody who's good, like you could
Makes their life easier.
You could own an auto body place. If you find a guy who really knows how to handle that spray gun and lay down a coat of lacquer, it's like, oh, but they will grab you. They will find you. Like that's how it works. Like just submit and let them grab you, because that I don't. People always want to know kind of like what's the route. You know, should we go take college things and do this and it's like, just start submitting stuff. Just start showing up.
You got the sound effects down.
That's right.
we got quite a few people that have come to the Babylon Bee that way, because it just kind of creates this thing, like we're doing this alternative comedy thing. And you just have people that have that same sense of humor just gravitate towards it. We get people that are like disaffected writers in Hollywood that just come over because they can't. They got to be in the closet in Hollywood. They can write conservative stuff over here. So
yeah, you can't. I mean, you could. The thing about Hollywood these days is if you're conservative, you couldn't write for a progressive show or even any show, even if your writing was good in that department.
As long as you keep your mouth shut, you're okay.
Keep your mouth shut. You'll be okay.
Well, wasn't that Dennis Miller's advice to up-and-coming comics? Like, just keep your mouth shut.
I know. I
Get through it.
love the advice to writers and comics is keep your mouth shut.
Don't express yourself.
It is. I tell you, I've been on a TV set recently, and they're scared shitless. And there was a lot of keep your mouth shut. It's weird. It's sad. Now listen, I wouldn't care if these dipshits never stopped bloviating about oppression and folks having a voice and alternative this and a seat at the table and an honest discussion on X, Y, or Z or McCarthyism and the dark days of McCarthyism. If you hypocrite blowhards never stop bloviating about that, I could tolerate you. But you simultaneously say that and then want everyone fired who disagrees with you. That's insane. It's insane that it's tolerated, but people are scared.
It's tolerance or else, which is a very strange idea.
Tolerance on my terms.
Yes. What did we get? You know, I had this theory about this. I can't remember if I got into it. But if you're good, you can tell these people to go pound sand. And if you're in the middle, like 92% of the population, you got to shut up.
Well,
that's how it is.
It makes the left a really good target for comedy. You know, and that's where we find a lot of our material. Is you have these people who control all of the cultural institutions and 98% of the TV shows and comedy outlets, and they think that they're like these oppressed people on the fringes and marginalized. And
yes,
it's great for comedy.
Well, and it used to be easy, I would think, to sort of lampoon conservatives because you're the stiff one and you have all these rules, and but you're right, it has completely flipped off. Who's the stiff, tight ass with all the rules? That's who doesn't. You can just follow that person. It doesn't matter what side they're on. They're easier to lampoon.
My entire youth was anyone who wrote a letter to a radio station with some uptight, religious, conservative, golfing guy. He golfed, and she had her hair in a bun, and her panties were in a pucker, and it was easy. It was like uptight, religious right has a problem with what this person is saying and wants them, and now somehow that mantle's been taken over by the progressive left, which is weird since they were the ones who were most vocal against that the entire time. But look, I think it all boils down to this. You are not allowed to base all of your thoughts and your policies on whose team is doing what. Either free speech is good, and it's good from that side, and it's good from that side. McCarthyism is bad. It's bad on that side. It's bad. You're not allowed to just pick and choose things that, if you're the star running back on, your team's, let's see, USC hates UCLA. If the star running back on UCLA punches out his girlfriend and you condemn it, then, and you want him suspended for the big game, then if your guy does it, you must condemn it and want him. You can't then look the other way just because it's your guy doing it. This is the big problem. We just need to be intellectually honest and consistent. That's all. You can still have a favorite team. You just have to apply the rules in a consistent fashion.
Yeah, and that's hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is such a good target for satire, and that's why we can make fun of ourselves a lot too, because there's definitely people on the right who are, hypocrites, or they come off that way.
Sure.
There's plenty for everybody.
There's plenty, to target everybody.
You guys got suspended from Twitter for a while?
Yeah, we're still locked out of Twitter. So we did a joke where we said Rachel Levine is our Man of the Year after Rachel Levine was given the Woman of the Year award by USA Today. And they locked us out for hateful conduct.
Yeah, so everyone know Rachel Levine.
Who's that?
She is the poster child for 2022.
Was she on Jeopardy, or is that a different?
No,
okay.
I don't think so. No, that was someone else. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Secretary for Health.
Secretary for Health, transgender.
Okay.
Yeah, some people make the transition a little more smoothly than others.
Oh.
Hers had a few bumps in the road. Crystal, you got to get the uniform picture. But I posed it on stage. And you can find the two pictures, Chris. I'll redo my joke. I think when I was in New York, I said, there's Rachel Levine and there's Avril Lavigne. Crystal. We got him somewhere in the computer somewhere. Chris will find.
Yeah, we didn't do it here in studio. That's what I'm trying to
I'll buy you a second. Rachel Levine is the transgendered Secretary for Health, who she actually was awesome because we made her the Secretary for Health, but then she's also accused of pulling her mom out of I don't know where she's from, what state, but she was doing health there and said
Massachusetts?
Nobody's going to these health old folks' homes or whatever, but everyone's locking down her, but pulled her mom out because she's like, I don't want my mom there. Right. The rest of you can hang out there. So that's awesome. But she was probably got the nod because of the diversity and the transgender, whatever, which is... I don't care if you're doing football coaches, airline pilots, or your staffing administration. Doing it based on the person's proclivities sexually or whether they've transgendered or not or whatever their ancestry is, it's a good way to fuck everything up because you're not getting the best people.
Also,
so there's she's
Admiral Levine.
She's that's what she is. Admiral Levine. I heard somebody say like Admiral Levine, and I out of sight my head, I was like, she's hot, and someone went, no, she is not, and then I realized,
the young Canadian ingenue.
Would you?
That's funny.
Avril Lavigne is hot, and I love her. Now here's the question: Do we spin the wheel?
No, I can't risk that. At 50%? No.
All right, what about during your fattest, baldingest, poorest days when you were 20 years old?
Hello, love line.
Driving around long bed, Chevy.
Yeah, short cab, S10.
S10
no
pickup
AC,
truck.
Crank windows.
With the bench seat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And no headbrush, just glass.
And Avril Lavigne at the height of her powers.
I would have been right around that time.
Do you spin that wheel? Fuck. You get to make sweet love to whoever that wheel lands on. Do you spin that wheel? I first off, when I was 19 or 20, I don't think I could live with myself if I didn't spin the wheel.
You have to
I
try.
would walk around just cursed.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Just head up in the clouds. What could have been?
Might have already cursed me enough.
Every time an Avril Lavigne video came on, I'd be like,
the one that could have gotten away.
Should have taken that chance.
Yeah.
Kyle, would you spin the wheel?
Sure. Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
I'm not 100% sure what the wheel is, but
the wheel,
fun.
On one side of it is Admiral Levine, transgender, a grand poobah, in uniform. And on the other side is Avril Lavigne, and you make sweet love to whoever lands
I would pass on that wheel.
You would?
Yeah.
That's what I can't take the chance.
I guess I respect that. Let's talk. How about a 60-40 split in your favor?
No, still.
As long as it's negotiable. If it's 70-30, I'll spin that wheel.
I wish. Let me check with my manager.
Go to producers.
Hey, you say 70-30. I'll spin it right now.
The best
cash offer.
The best we can do is a 63-37 split.
You got to do better than that.
I can talk to my manager again, but he was pretty resolute. I don't know. Is Art at lunch?
67-33 final offer. Vested final.
Let me talk to my manager again. Dawson, where are you at?
When I gamble, I lose. And 50-50, no way. It had to be at least 80-20 to me.
80-20? I knew your terms would be unreasonable, Dawson.
I go 80-20. That seems reasonable.
That's unreasonable.
I'm giving a lot for 67-33.
Yeah, I can't do
This
that
is not today's primo successful, Dawson. This is 20-year-old, 19-year-old Dawson.
Just fell off a skateboard, can't smell shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even 20-year-old me with like a little better odds.
You want an 80-20?
I want an 80-20 split.
Let me talk to my manager.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough sell.
He's going to hit the roof.
I don't think I can get this done.
And oh God, as soon as that wheel would spin, I would go, what have I done?
Yeah.
What have I done?
That 4.5 seconds while it's spinning is torture.
Kyle, what can we put you down for?
Yeah, I was married at 19, so
you can't factor.
Yeah,
you cannot.
that's another hero.
Free, single, atheist Kyle.
Yeah.
What do we do?
If I was atheist, sure, yeah.
You go 50-50?
Sure, yeah. I do it because nothing matters at that point.
Yeah, nothing matters. There's
Nihilism
there's no
is
hell.
totally different.
Chris, what do we put you down for?
I'll do 51-49.
Wow.
Oh, you just want
gambling man.
Yeah, the House Edge, that's better than House Edge, I think, so I'll take it.
It's like playing the cum line.
I got to keep it at 50-50, bro. The wheel's already been drawn. I can't be fudging around with the tape, you know what I mean?
Are you willing to walk away? Either of you willing to walk away over 1%?
I would at 19, 20. Look, I would have packed a kilo of heroin up my ass and walked through the Mexican border at 19 for $80. Like I would have done anything. I'm going 50-50. Okay.
Yeah, man of your word.
You got a coin? Does anyone have a coin? Because we can.
Perfect.
We can fix this
We'll flip
right
the
now.
porn star's the
Vixen card.
There we go.
Wait, which is which?
Wait a minute.
That's it.
Wait a minute. You can't do that. We got to find a coin, and we got to do everyone. I'm just go 50-50. We'll say if we won or lost. This is the only scientific way to approach this.
This is your definition of winning.
Gina is going into her pocketbook. She's got a coin. She wrote her initials on it. God, you Jews. It's insane. Your relationship with money's insane.
Now, Kyle, you're a religious man. What's worse, Jewish or atheist?
That's a good question.
You like us, right? We all like Jerusalem.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so Chris.
Love the Jews.
Let's just put you down for 50-50.
Sure.
I'll let you call it.
Here's your
A
little
penny. You had a half dollar in there, but you didn't.
Cash.
You don't trust me. You don't trust me with it.
What good is that doing you?
All right, what do you got, Chris?
I'll take heads.
Take heads?
Yeah, you will.
Tails.
Oh, boy.
You're with the Admiral.
Okay.
All right, Dawson, you're down at 50-50. What do you take?
50-50, I'm going to go heads again.
Heads? Heads.
Avril, here I come.
That's right.
Skater boy said, see you later,
Brian.
boy.
Tails never fails.
All right, 50-50. Tails it is. Kyle, 50-50.
This is not complicated.
Heads.
You go
Heads, it
heads?
says.
All right. Let's hope it's that way in more way than one. Heads.
Oh, boy.
Now the ace man.
Oh, no.
It all comes down to this.
You guys need to see a picture of Admiral Levine to really appreciate what I'm going through right now.
Don't they say that heads is slightly heavier, so it's more likely to land
I've heard
down?
I've heard a lot of theories.
But we just proved that tails works.
I've always been a tails man. I'm going tails. Heads! Devastation!
Me and you, Adam.
All right, I'm going first. I don't like sloppy admirals. All right, let's see. Let me hit. Is our guest here? Or, huh?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, put the thing out there, Bucky. All right. Oh, it's just buying time there. Let me tell you about concrete. Oh, yeah. Concrete. Creatine, man. Your body makes about half the creatine it needs. The other half comes from your diet, but most American diets are low in creatine-rich foods. Concrete, patented creatine, HCl, is the favorite creatine of elite, well-informed athletes. Take it every day. Dr. Drew takes it every day. It's got a nice little lemony flavor to it. And it gives you that boost of energy. You'll feel it immediately. It's the #1 bioavailable creatine and the only microdosing creatine. Just one small scoop per 100 pounds of your body weight. Shake it up and drink it down. Creatine is required for functional energy in every cell. Your brain uses about 20% of the creatine in your body. Your immune system cells need it, and heart cells, lung cells. It is concrete. Right, Dawson?
Take control of your health, both body and mind. Build a better you with Concrete. Register now at con-cret.com/podcast. That's con-crete.com/podcast for a chance to win a $500 Walmart Visa gift card, available now online and in-store Walmart. Concrete is truly life-changing and performance-enhancing.
All right, comedian Eleanor Kerrigan is going to join us. Kyle Mann, the BabylonBee.com is where you go. I'm flipping the coin with Eleanor. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good for her.
Play the, and you too, Gina.
Okay.
We're going lesbian.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know if he still has his junk
covers
or
it.
her.
All right.
Yeah, all right, we're good. All right, we'll do that right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam. Saw this sign at McDonald's today. To our valued customers, the state of California now requires that you request the following: straws, napkins, utensils, condiments. Please be sure to request these items if you need them. You can burn fires on the side of the freeway, but if you need a napkin or a straw, the state of California needs you to ask for that. Have a good day. Bye.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
We love rules. Boy, does California love. They're so in love with rules.
but didn't they pass today, or I don't have it for news because I need to look at it later, but Newsom says there's a new fast food union?
He's trying to get, I think, some base of 22 an hour, blah, blah, blah.
Ooh la la, where do I sign?
I know. Hey, Eleanor Kerrigan, how are you?
Looks like I'll be at McDonald's after this. Applying.
Seriously.
You know, the minimum wage, we always talk about the minimum wage. Okay. They do this thing where they go, well, is the mother of three supposed to support her family? It's fucking McDonald's. I worked there when I was 16, and I quit after 3 months because it sucked that bad. So there's a couple things. I was talking to Gergos about this. I don't think people really understand it. There's a part of a kind of a... Mark Gergos said to me when he was 19, he worked down at the Parkway Grill or whatever in Pasadena. I'm most jealous of these people. He said he got a job there, worked his way up from busboy to waiter. He said he was waiting over there at this kind of high-end restaurant in Pasadena. He said, I'd come home with a weekend with $300-400 cash.
Oh, yeah.
Then he said, I had to really think about going off to law school because I had making all this cash, right? And he said he did go off to law school, but he'd come back to the restaurant 20 years later and the same fucking guys were working there because
Career
it's like,
leaders.
I can't say bye to this. I had a stripper girlfriend that did like the same thing. It was like, I can't get a regular job. You don't want people working at McDonald's for 30 years.
No.
It's a high school job. You're not supposed to
It's a starter thing.
Yes.
It teaches you responsibility. You move on. Unless you want to own a franchise. And then you stay, you learn the fundamentals, and you open up a franchise.
But
That's it.
also, don't you want to go like, instead of this thing where it's like everyone gets $13 an hour, or everyone gets $9, or everyone now gets 22, don't you want to be the employee who kicks ass, who gets more than the lazy employee? Like we all just get the bottom sort of baseline thing. Like, don't you want to incentivize people to go, that guy kicks ass? Like when I worked the grill, I didn't kick ass. I put my biggest fuck up is I would take the Big Mac buns and I'd have the top one flipped over the wrong direction. So if
I always got that.
If you got a Big Mac where the top of the bun was grilled,
That was an
that's
Adam
the ace,
special.
man.
You also ate old filet of fish by the dumpster. So you
I
were
did.
eating the profits.
I only ate the fillet of fish by the dumpster when they asked me to throw out the fillet of fish because it sat
But you didn't
too long.
pull it out of the dumpster and eat it.
He's next to it.
I stood by the dumpster and ate it.
I've heard some stories.
And
so.
I hid it in the arm of the
Got it.
dumpster so I could go back and get it
Okay,
later.
okay.
That's how I work.
It's a little saving grace, but not much.
So, look, I realized that we excluded the ladies from my hypothetical.
I felt excluded.
And I don't know if you know Admiral Levine.
I've seen pictures.
And you know Avril Levine, of course.
Of course. The skateboarder, singer.
I can't.
Whatever.
Should we figure out if Admiral Levine has the junk? This is part of the problem.
That's not what she turned into now, is it?
Yeah.
That's version 2.0.
Got it. Okay.
Admiral, so we used to have this cross-dresser, transvestite, pre-op, post-op. Like we had terms, so we sort of knew where people were at. Now we just go, you're a lady. You're just a dude who wants to walk into the ladies' locker room, but you've announced you're a lady, and we all have to pretend you're a lady.
Well, now it's Nunya.
I can't tell if you got the junk or not.
Yeah.
So
We don't ask that anymore. It's uncouth.
Does Admiral Levine still have the junk? Because this is going to factor into the lovemaking. I need to know. I don't know if it's discernible anymore.
Actually, that's a good point because that affects my 50-50.
She got that government health care.
What do you mean you're 50-50?
Because if Admiral Levine is still with penis, then it makes it more attractive to me as an
heterosexual
open,
woman,
cis hetero woman.
Openly cis.
But now we still have to figure out because you're gapingly open cis woman. Now that your women are a little more flexible sexually.
Yeah.
She doesn't look flexible.
Would you rather be
Gina?
I dare you.
Oh, Gina does.
with Avril Levine or Admiral Levine and the junk?
Yeah, I'd rather be with Admiral Levine and the Junk.
Okay.
Great band.
Wow.
Okay.
That is a hell of a band name.
Eleanor.
I'm going to join Admiral Levine and the Junk.
Wow.
Yeah,
you
I'm going
guys
to be
are
in that
committed
band.
heterosexuals.
Committed to the pogo stick.
Why are you
yeah.
so down on the lesbians?
I'm not down on the
Well, it
lesbians.
sounds
I'm
like
just
you're-
not into the gaping hole.
Seems like all right.
But I'd be
like
down. I'd be down with Avril Levine.
She's hot.
Wait a minute.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're saying there.
Okay.
She's saying the Admiral's not a deterrent with a penis.
Okay.
I'm saying that evens it out for me. If it's Avril Lavigne in her prime or Admiral Levine
with the
not
junk.
in her prime, then that's sort
With
of
the
a
junk.
Yeah, that's sort of a.
All right, so the coin toss for you is neither here nor there.
I mean, I'd like to be able to say I fucked Avril Lavigne.
Oh, you would?
That looks
Of course
good
I'd
on a
like to.
resume.
Yeah, that's good cocktail
Yeah.
party talk.
Okay.
That's great.
All right, Eleanor.
That's tough.
It's tough being a lady, isn't it?
It is because we were indecisive. One, two. I don't know. I'm going to go with Admiral Levine and the junk.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to stick on it. The stick.
So, if you chose heads,
Yeah, because I feel like Admiral Levine is a
Admiral
little stronger.
would be a win for you.
Yeah.
And Gina, just right down the middle. I'm going to ask you to commit.
No, I would rather be
committing.
able to say I fucked Avril Lavigne.
Oh, Avril Lavigne. Sorry.
But I don't.
She's just looking
God
for
damn it,
street
Brian.
cred.
All right. Well, the stakes aren't quite as high as when Dawson flipped the coin.
That's true.
That much I will say, especially with the presence of the male junk.
Yeah, because either way, guys are excited, whichever one we pick.
Mm-hmm.
They'd still be able to.
All right, Gina, you call it.
Okay. What was my theory? Heads is heavier, so to land on tails.
Tails gets you with Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
Okay. Tails it is.
Okay. Woo! Good.
Dreams do come true.
That'll be fun.
Eleanor,
Love
you'd
a good
like to be
time.
with Admiral Levine.
I think so. I like his forearm strength. Sorry, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
I think, that's going to be a
Heads
a
or
fun-
tails for you?
Let's go all head.
Let's go all head. Tails, sorry.
Oh,
I don't
sloppy
feel
seconds,
sorry
Avril.
for anyone that's got to be with Avril Lavigne.
You're not getting highly decorated today.
That's right.
No boss bitches for me.
Yeah.
Well, young one.
Good
this
for
one.
her. Good for both of them.
Good for both
for
of
all
them.
of us.
God bless.
God bless.
God bless
them.
the
Bless their
rich
little
pageantry of life.
There you go.
The podcast Eleanor does, by the way, the Comedy Store podcast, available wherever you listen to podcasts. They discuss
Cute.
the past, the present, the future of the Comedy Store guests as well. So let's talk about past, present, and future. Who are the kings of the Comedy Store?
At this moment in the present?
Oh, now, yesterday.
Cumulative.
Well, yeah.
Mount
I mean,
Rushmore.
I think your Mount Rushmore. I mean, that's easy. That's Pryor. That's Robin Williams, Sam Kinison, Dice, Whoopi Goldberg, Sandra Bernhardt.
Too many people.
Sorry,
cut it off
my
a
fault.
bit.
My fault. I get excited, but because like my Mount Rushmore or the store's Mount Rushmore. Because my Mount Rushmore is different.
I don't think of Whoopi Goldberg when I think of Comedy Store.
She did, yeah. She did her one-woman show in the Belly Room. That's what it was for her. That made her famous.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I remember.
That was Mitzi's favorite.
God, we got to look that one up. But I remember my sister when she was cutting hair at a all gay salon in Silver Lake when I was 19 or 20.
You don't have to say all
I was
gay.
going to say the same.
Yeah.
I do because I remember very clearly saying
At that age, you do remember it vividly sometimes.
I said to my sister once, I said, what percentage of America do you think is gay? And she's like, 80%. I was like, yeah, that's because you work at a Silver Lake hair salon. But what if you can't base everything on who's coming through the door at your Silver Lake hair salon on Hyperion. But I think she had the tape of Whoopi's special.
Really?
Oh, it was incredible.
It was incredible. It must have been when, we have to be talking about 1984 here or something.
But she worked it out for a long time there.
In the Belly Room?
Yeah. So Mitzi used to love to have people work out one person shows up there because how much success Whoopi had with hers.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd go up every other night or every
Whenever
night
she
or whatever
wanted.
she wanted,
Yeah.
and she'd go up there and work out
Yeah.
material for
And it
the
would be
one-woman
packed.
show.
Everybody would go up and watch it.
It's in the Belly Room. It's the Belly Room. 40, 50 people.
No, not. You can get about. I think the fire marshal is 79.
Oh, really?
But we've
It's bigger
gotten
than
to
we thought.
100. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Don't
then
tell them.
the original room is about what?
A 189, I believe, fire marshal. Something
just
like
go with
that.
that.
Again, we do to 200 because I remember we had Jackie Mason for 12 nights. He did 12 nights straight in the main room, and the main room is, I think, 249 fire marshal. Again, we were up to 405.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
But everybody came to see him 12 nights in a row. It was incredible. And I didn't even know him. I'm like, I was young. I was like, who the hell's this guy? He's just up there. But it was packed. It was all these old Jews from Beverly Hills that came out to see. I served so much tea. It was incredible.
Oh, you were working there?
I was waiting tables. Yeah. I waited tables there from 93 to 205.
Wow,
2005.
it's a run.
Yeah.
It strikes me that Jackie Mason did a one-man show. He had a theater show.
Okay.
I've probably done multiple ones. I think it was called The History of the World or The World According to Me or like Jackie Mason, whatever. One of the very rare occasions where me and I think my grandfather and my grandmother went to Westwood and like actually saw something, like bought a ticket.
Oh, wow.
So my grandfather's an old Hungarian Jew, and of course Jackie Mason.
Yeah, The World According to Me, 1988.
It's amazing. Oh, wow.
Well, that's on
1988.
IMDb, yeah.
Right. Wonder if he was doing the one-man show belly room workout thing as well.
Good question. That I didn't get there till 93, and I was young. I didn't know anything about comedy. I just got it was the only place that hired me. And we were talking about waiting tables in like East Coast. You waited tables. Philadelphia, we got $2.01 an hour plus tips. In California, you got minimum wage plus tips. I was like, oh, you have the lottery out here. Like you forget it's a working state. I know. I mean, obviously,
is
I know
the
now.
Comedy Store good tipping? Is that a
great
good versus a restaurant or someplace like that?
For me, it was great because I hate food, like serving food. People complain more. But drinks, some people complain. There's not enough alcohol in this, that kind of shit. But for drinks, it's a lot easier, a lot quicker. You could throw a bucket of beer at people and shots. And
they're happy.
Yeah, and you could, everyone used to make fun of me because I used to flirt with people to make more tips. But that's how you do it, Rents due, it's a lower cut top. Where, all of a sudden my leg's on the table while I'm putting your beer, you know what I mean? It's weird, but you got to pay rent. So, it was like I would do that, but I could serve and make so much money there, even when we weren't even that busy.
How was the scene there back then? Like, would you hang out late night and see who was hanging out, what comedians were hanging out?
When did it start mattering to you that you were at the Comedy Store?
Exactly. I was going to say, at first it didn't matter. I mean, we were there because we were waiting tables, so we would be like dead at the end of the night. Whatever straggler comics didn't have a life and wanted to stay and try to sleep with a waitress would hang out. But for the most part, everybody left. We would just be hanging out late night. But we had Pauly Shore had some great parties. Like I remember waiting on House of Pain the first time I got a contact high. He had them all in the back green room of the main room. And they were performing on the stage, and they were smoking so much weed, you could cut through it. I remember walking past Mickey Rourke asleep on a table. Like, it was just crazy. And I was like, oh, this is amazing, but awful at the same time. But I loved it, and I stayed, obviously, for 12 years. Not wanting to be a comic either. So that's where my mental derangement comes in.
But you met Andrew Dice Clay, and he wanted you to do comedy, right?
My second ex-fiance. I make a lot of mistakes. And he is, he's the one that was like when he saw me, I was doing a one-person show in the belly room. I asked Mitzi if I could work it out, because I always wanted to be an actress. So I was just like telling these stories. And he came up and he's like, you're doing stand-up, stupid. So we start going on the road because he's charming. And we still are on the road.
Yeah, you open for him?
Yeah.
I haven't fully... I like Andrew Dice Clay, but I haven't really fully wrapped my mind around exactly who he is. Like
nobody has. I was engaged to him and couldn't tell you who he is. We lived together for 5 years. It's like he's interesting.
In what way?
Just because he loves to goof. Right. So the one minute you think you know what you're getting, and then he just switches it right away, which is, it's funny. But when you're dating him, you're like, oh, no more. Like people are like, how come you guys broke up? You're so funny together. You guys have great chemistry. And I'm like, well, I regained consciousness. And then I walked off. But no, we stayed good friends. And he is a good boyfriend. Like he is more of a romantic. I'm not that person. I'm not good like that. I'm kind of like, I don't like flowers and stuff. Like I'm not your average girl. Do you like flowers?
It's not my thing.
Good.
I don't like it's very expensive, way overpriced. They die.
Yeah, it's stupid.
They're
smell. Already dead.
I don't like dried flowers.
Yes, it's the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
My gay roommate used to have them hanging all over the.
I don't like that vibe. The only thing I do I've ever done with flowers is my wedding bouquet, which I also didn't give a shit about, just because it's just pomp and circumstance.
Yeah.
I bought from the Hobby Lobby plastic Christmas ornaments because I have to celebrate Christmas now. I'm Jewish, and put them in there.
Yeah,
and
we get in everybody's
was,
business.
That's
don't
right.
We?
Yeah.
Better PR people, I've heard.
We have a 40-second clip of Whoopi Goldberg discussing her Comedy Store days.
Yes, she is.
But what year did that special come out?
That's a good question. Yeah, I
Chris will
definitely
find
wasn't there for it, but Mitzi always talked about it. And Whoopi came back years later to see Richard Pryor, who did, he was doing every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the original room, right before he passed, a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, maybe about 3 or 4 years before he passed away.
Man, it
was incredible.
Talk about some, like what, you think about, I don't know, City Hall or art museums or something like that. But what about the history of the Comedy Store? I mean, it's crazy.
Was this Spook Show?
I don't know what
1983. That was her one-woman show.
83 sounds about
and then
right.
running from 84 to 85.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
It was all these crazy characters, great characters she did.
Here's her talking about it.
Was so good. She made me feel like this was a place for me. She saw my one-woman show and she said, well, we can do this in the belly room. Would you like to do this in the belly room? I'd like you to do it in the belly room. Would you do it in the belly room for me? I'd like it if you did do it in the belly room for me. And I said, okay. And so a piece of theater ran for about a year in the belly room. I got to watch all these extraordinary people and spending time with Rodney Dangerfield. I mean, he's funny as hell. And I learned how to make material better. I learned how to tell a better story. It was fun because I could just fly. I could fly all over there. And no one said you're doing it wrong.
Steven Spielberg saw her in the belly room and cast her in The Color Purple.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy?
There you go. Yeah. History, man.
Yeah, and that picture was her and Richard when he came back in...
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor. I can't remember if it was like 99 or 2000, but I believe he passed away in 2005. And he was coming every Monday and Wednesday and Friday, and then he went down to just Wednesdays because his health, obviously. But when he got on stage... He was like a different person. It was, you could see that his illness.
MS, right?
More frail.
You could see it was taking him. In fact, the door guy, Chewy, used to have to carry him on stage, put him in the chair. And then once he sat him down, this person came out. You're like, whoa. It was like that's where he felt the most comfortable. And I remember one night he asked me for a martini. I go to get it because I'm like, it's Richard Pryor, of course. And his wife cuts me off and goes, give him water. And I'm like, are you crazy? So she goes, no, just give him water. I'm like, okay, fine. She goes, it's going to mess up his meds. He's doing better. Just give him water. I go, fine. Because in my heart, I'm like, it's Richard Pryor. If you want, leave him alone. Where he's at, what he's done, But so I give him the water.
In a martini glass?
In a martini glass. Yes. And everything. I make it look, murky. We did dirty, the whole thing. He's drinking it. Chewy brings him on stage. I'm waiting tables. Now, when Mitzi Shore was alive, when you waited tables, you had to be crouched down. Like you didn't stand up. Now people like serve drinks. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for them to ask me to hold their tray while I'm on stage. Right. They stand up right in front of the stage. It's crazy. But she would never, you weren't supposed to be seen or heard. So I was like creeping in, and it's packed in the OR. Had to be in the original room. It had to be 200 and something people in there. And I'm putting drinks down, and I hear Richard go, you see that waitress? And I was like, oh shit. I was so panicked. I was like, and I'm thinking Mitzi's in the back. I'm in trouble. And I just looked up, and he goes, she gave me water. Bitch.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, I can die because Richard Pryor just called me a bitch. That is unbelievable. But I was shaking the whole time because I thought I was going to get fired by Mitzi. But he didn't care, but he knew. I gave him water. He was like,
probably blamed his wife.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure of it. But still, I like that he called me a bitch.
Thank God she did that because it makes for a great story.
Yeah, but also, I get what she's saying with the meds, but at that point.
Or at this point.
At any point.
Because at that point, maybe it did factor in, but at this point.
I'm curious, was Mitzi scary?
100%.
She seemed scary.
I spent a lot of time with Mitzi. We did I was her assistant for a long time. So there was one time when she called me. She's like, I need you to do something for me, honey. I go, okay, what's up? She goes, we're going to go do you have a passport? I go, yeah, I have a passport. Because at the time I was wrestling. It's a whole nother story. But we needed a passport because we were going to go to Japan. So I happened to get one. And she goes, we're going to the Dominican Republic. I go, okay. And I never left the country at this point. Never. Like California, Los Angeles, furthest I've been from Philadelphia. So I was like, okay. Now I'm like nervous. Like, what are we going there for? She's like, stem cell injections.
Wow.
They're illegal here, so we got to go there. And I'm like, what? Now we're doing illegal stuff out of the country? So we get there, and I remember we were in this, like, it looked like an abandoned hospital, but it was all these American doctors that were administering these drugs. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm signing a paper while I'm sweating that says if she gets sick, they won't treat her in the United States. So now I'm like, oh, here's Weekend at Bernie's, me and Mitzi, and I'm signing the paper. I'm sweating, and I'm like, oh my God. And the whole time the doctor had been telling her to be positive, be more positive, you know. And he came in and he goes, be positive. She goes, I am. And he goes, no, it's your blood type.
Be positive.
I was like, oh my God, I was so disoriented the whole weekend. I think I lost like 18 pounds at one because it was so scary. She kept calling everybody Mexicans, and I was like, no. Yeah. Because she was a little disoriented. Her disease was catching up to her.
How much longer was she around after that?
A while. The thing with the stem cells, that really did give her a little bit more longevity. Like, it doesn't cure it, but it definitely slows it down.
What does she have?
That was the beauty. Every time we get a diagnosis, she'd leave because she didn't like what they said. So I think it was dementia that was just, taken over. But sometimes they'd say Parkinson's, sometimes they'd say Alzheimer's. It was a cluster of all of them, to be quite honest. And it was taking a toll. She had the shakes really bad, which is, I believe, Parkinson's more, but dementia does it as well.
She hung on for quite some
until she was like 87.
I remember Polly saying his mom's at home and he's like taking care of her and stuff like that.
Yeah. Me and Polly, we had to do like an intervention on Mitzi because she wouldn't let us hire anybody.
At the club?
No,
or to take care of her?
To take care of her at home. She wanted just get a door guy to do it. And I was like, I don't think a door guy.
She would get them to be babysitters and stuff like that, like famously, right?
Yeah, like she would just have a door, like them come over and do stuff around the house.
Right.
And it was like, all right, they just want stage time, so they would do it for nothing,
right.
Next to nothing.
Right.
She would pay them, but like, wasn't what she needed was a nurse or somebody certified. And she just was in denial. So she just kept saying, get that door guy to do it. And Paulie was like, no, that's horrible. So we did an intervention. And I remember Richard Pryor's wife was with us, Jennifer Pryor. And she told this story about Richard breaking his hip. And Mitzi flipped out and she kicked us all out.
Wow.
I know. She was like, get out of here. So me and Paulie were just standing on her like driveway outside of her house. And he just broke down because he couldn't, he was trying everything.
She just didn't want to admit that she was sick.
100%. She just wasn't giving into it. She was like, I'm not a cripple. Miami airport, she wouldn't get in a chair, or go on that little, they ride you around.
The trolley thing.
Yeah, international airport. It was like 3 miles to it's the biggest airport, 100%. And I'm like, hey, she goes, I'm not a cripple. I'm not getting in there. I was like, okay. So she's walking baby steps like this. And then we stopped. We missed 2 flights.
Oh, wow.
I was pissed.
I would hate to have to take care of her.
I love her. I
love her gumption.
Yeah,
I wish there was a little more
piss and vinegar.
People who were cripples saying I am not a cripple versus everyone now who wants the fucking parking spot up front of the Costco because they're having a bad hair day.
I hate that.
I hate it too. All right, let me tell you about our friends over at Etsy. Hey there, kiddos. Let me tell you about shopping on Etsy. Well, I love to shop on Etsy because it's affordable. It's one-of-a-kind things made by real people. Whether you're shopping for yourself or for other people, Etsy has home decor, kids' toys, clothing, and jewelry, and so much more at great prices. Instead of the usual mass-produced items, choose something that's completely original as well as affordable. The products you'll find on Etsy Marketplace are made or chosen by real people and sold at great prices. Buying from independent makers and sellers means that you know the stories behind the things you shop for and the people who make them with care and attention to fit your budget. And I think our own producer, Gary, got his sister a laser-etched decanter on Etsy that looks awesome. You'll love it, too. Am I right, Dawson?
New to Etsy? Use code HELLO10 at checkout for 10% off your first purchase. That's code HELLO10. Maximum value of $50. Ends October 31st, 2022. See terms at etsy.com/terms. Extraordinary, handmade, affordable. Etsy has it. Shop Etsy.com.
All right, we're back to Eleanor Kerrigan. We're going to hang out. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do some news right after this.
Juul's not a company that has been in the news a lot lately, but they are back with a vengeance. The e-cigarette company has agreed to pay $438 million settlement for aggressively marketing its vape products to teens. The statement from Connecticut Attorney General William Tong, who led this agreement, says Juul relentlessly marketed vaping products to underage youth, manipulated their chemical composition to be palatable to inexperienced users, employed an inadequate age verification system, and misled consumers about the nicotine content and addictiveness of the product. Juul has come in tons of flavors. Any flavor under the sun. Mango, cucumber, cream, mint, anything you want. They had to pull those in 2020. Now, Mashable reports that the 34-state investigation is cutting off Juul once and for all. The settlement will distribute the millions of dollars to help reduce nicotine use and force Juul to comply with strict terms that end youth marketing and crack down on underage sales. So, to be clear, they're not shutting down the company, but they're pretty much bankrupting them and tying their hands.
All right. First off, okay, I got 1,000 things to say. There are now 200,000 alcoholic drinks for kids, essentially.
Like Pucker and
every one of these hard seltzer,
right.
Everything smearing off, ice, candy, whatever.
Delicious.
I mean, I've seen it in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We had Mickey's Big Mouth and Boone's Farm, It was like a couple Bartles and James kicked in a little bit later. There are now hundreds of offerings for kids. Like, you take a swig of tequila, you'll make a face. Take a swig of a beer, you'll make a face. Not this shit.
Not a White Claw.
This
you
shit
can down it.
This shit tastes good. And so there's hundreds of offerings. And by the way, the kids participate. I mean, that is.
Look at that. That's clear marketing.
That's Nickelodeon backed.
Yeah.
I mean,
what
that
are we
really.
looking at?
That's what is it? A jar?
Artisanal
Jarhead?
Yeah,
what is it
it's
called?
a warhead.
Warhead.
The candy warhead.
candy.
Yeah.
I was like,
hard
that's
seltzer
also
candy
gonna-
flavor.
Yeah, like
there
Pucker.
are just. I mean, look, if you walk
shit.
around the neighborhood, I'm in, and there's some 16, 17-year-olds had some fucking thing in the backyard or whatever, go look through the trash can. You will find all of this shit. So there's
So we're a
tons
little
of it.
behind the 8 ball here.
Tons of it for kids.
their lobby.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing that I can't get over, which is like, I tell people all the time, nicotine is not bad for you. Nicotine is not bad for you. Like coffee isn't bad for you. Like caffeine isn't bad for you. It makes you feel differently. There's such a thing as people being addicted to it.
It's a stimulant.
But what's dangerous about cigarettes is the delivery system, not
the formaldehyde.
Yes, not the actual nicotine part. So we get all caught up in the nicotine part, and then we started doing this. Well, what about the other particles and whatever that are in there? So it's vapor, flavor, and nicotine. First off, I don't fucking trust anybody anymore with their here's what this does to us or here's what it doesn't do to us. There's all this talk about, then what about they got purple lung from... all right. It's been a couple years. I haven't heard much talk about it. Yes, they're trying to get kids hooked on nicotine.
Sure.
That's the business model.
Yeah.
You don't market things to 90-year-olds. You do it to 16-year-olds.
Who's gonna buy? A 90-year-old's not going to get excited.
They want them on it, and just like the kids are fucking strung out on Chick-fil-A. I mean, they're just Taco Bell.
It's all addictive.
You take a fucking taco shell, and then you put a layer of meat in it, and then you put a gordita inside that, and then you shove it inside the crust.
Grind it together with cheese.
Pizza Hut, you put their Pizza Hut.
Oh, those
is
are
they're putting pepperoni inside of the crust now. We're trying to get kids hooked on everything. Here's my thing. The booze is bad for the kids. The Pizza Hut is bad for the kids. The Juul is not bad, or at least nearly as bad for them, but they get hooked on the nicotine part. But because we're so fucking nuts about smoking and all things related to smoking, we're simultaneously saying we're going to run Juul out of business. And I'm thinking about having clean injection sites for heroin junkies on the fucking streets of San Francisco. Get your shit together and prioritize. That's what I'm saying.
I agree 1,000,000%.
Yeah,
million.
And
$1 million.
The neighborhood that my stepson goes to school in, again, they don't call it free lunch; it's complimentary. And that fucks me up. It fucks me up so bad because the lunch I'm in charge of lunch. I pack it. He gets the cucumber slices, the strawberry slices, the cheese, the salami, whatever. I
do the lunches as well.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Pride.
But the problem is because it's free. He'll come home and the lunch bag will have pretty much everything in it. And I'll go, what happened? Oh, I had the pizza. I had the corn dog. Like, motherfucker, if it wasn't free, then he wouldn't have the money to choose that. But he can just get whatever he wants. And then these lunches that I feel good about, aren't being eaten.
I was on the free lunch ticket program when I was young too, and it was like the worst prison slop that could ever be offered.
Rich man, poor man, LAUSD school lunches. Because now, Jeannie, I'm sure you've gotten a million texts and automated voice messages and whatever. Like, hey, this year, so lunch is free or breakfast is free.
Also, do you know? Speaking of this, which I don't think you got at North Hollywood or any of the schools you attended. They all had Panda Express. The school brought in Panda Express.
You guys grew up different, man. We went home for lunch during school.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, go home, figure it out at your own house.
They ended off-campus privileges the year before I was eligible.
Off-campus?
Well, I mean, like, go somewhere for lunch.
Then it became ice cream scooper spaghetti.
No.
When we were around. And like corn niblets.
And with the click to undo the scoop.
And can I just ask you guys this, because this is very Midwestern. This is very specifically a Kansas City thing. Did you guys have chili and cinnamon rolls served together? That is a very, very Midwestern thing. So if you come from like Kansas and Missouri,
that's a fear factor thing.
It's fucking delicious together. Cinnamon rolls and chili.
I've never had chili. I guess
good chili has some cinnamon
and a little chocolate, but like you scoop a little on your cinnamon roll.
If you can do chicken and waffles, you can do chili and cinnamon
waffles.
Delicious. Yeah. Syrup all over it.
Yeah, we had the ice cream scooper spaghetti, which is we'd have the green beans that were so like bloated and they've been floating in their own water for way too long. Same with the corn. Pizza was square.
Fruit cocktail goo.
The cinnamon rolls and the sort of the breakfast cakes kind of thing. I guess like a
coffee cake.
Coffee cake square. There was nothing nutritious that was offered in any way, shape, or form.
And that really hasn't changed.
I know. So I don't know. Like if you said to me, oh, look, you have a choice. Your kid can either drink Smirnoff, hard candy flavored coolers, eat slop that was provided by the state, or suck off a Juul. I'd go suck off that fucking nicotine Juul thing.
Get that Juul. I started smoking when I was 9. So when they would send us home, I would if I had money for lunch, which I probably earned by paint and address or something, I would buy cigarettes.
They would sell you cigarettes.
100%.
Like
I would say it was from my father.
Was it a Lucy or a full pack?
No, it was a full pack.
Wow.
Yeah, me and my brothers, we would always just find money to buy cigarettes.
People would go, obviously you could go down to the corner store and buy cigarettes for your parents.
It was in neighborhoods, so it was like, oh, my dad, this is for my dad. They were like, oh, all right. And then they were like, oh, he smokes Terrytons. And I'm like, oh, yeah, all right. We like Marlboro.
As long as we're on food, I know you're headed to Austin, Adam, in a couple of days. I don't know if Chris or August is on top of this. Obviously, you're going to have
a lot of trucks.
Lovely barbecue, I imagine, when you're there. Don't sleep on the breakfast taco.
Oh,
Austin
I'm
is a
so glad you said that.
thriving taco scene,
Yes.
especially breakfast. Do the breakfast taco at like 9, 10 a.m., and then do the barbecue at like 1 or 2.
They do corner the market on the breakfast taco.
They're
It's
great.
fabulous.
I think the great Dr. Jill Biden broached the breakfast.
Remember? And you
taco.
guys, and your as sturdy a society as your
that's right,
breakfast
that's right,
taco.
that's right.
Did
That's
she
right.
really?
Yeah, it was
That's
not a great
so
moment.
Funny.
They are good.
Yeah. All right, breakfast taco.
Yeah.
We'll be at the football game at 9 a.m.
That's right. You don't want to miss kickoff. Woo! Jason Momoa getting a lot of attention and diverting it to a cause. He has shaved his famous locks for something that he truly believes in. He posted a video of the haircut on Instagram and toasted to new beginnings. Let's just let him explain why he did this.
Hello, everyone. Hand me those braids. So,
Oh my.
shaving off the hair.
Oh.
Doing it for, oh man. I've never even felt the wind right there. Do it for, single-use plastics.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I'm tired of these.
Not
plastic
related.
You would if you're watching
We gotta
TMZ
stop.
last night doing show prep like this, man.
All that shit.
He is
Goes into our
Aquaman.
land, goes into our ocean.
Oh,
How
yeah.
about you right now?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just seeing things in our ocean. It's just so sad. So please, anything you can do to eliminate single-use plastics in your life, help me. Help me. Plastic bottles are
Cheers.
ridiculous.
Sorry, buddy.
Your canteen, or now everyone's making the aluminum, which is fantastic. So, aloha.
How about you
We're
use
gonna keep
just
going.
a fucking cup?
Oh
like,
man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
a
what do you
glass. My mom hates plastic. She always everything was glass. We had no money, and she'd be like, "Go buy a glass pitcher," and I'm like,
oh,
"There's a
really?
plastic one." She's like, "It doesn't taste the same." I'm like,
I love
"Excuse
your mom.
me."
I love
yeah,
your mom.
but she's right. I didn't realize because we were just wanted things fast. We didn't think about it, and it was the glass. I have it in my house now. I'm like, oh, she's right. Glass pitchers are better.
Well, this shouldn't come as a huge shock to you as that Jason founded a company, Mana Nalu, to rid the world of single-use plastic. So it's all related.
It's a weird thing, people's kind of relationships with it, because I am not an environmentalist by any stretch of the phrase at all. But
you have thoughts about
I hate
it.
throwing away.
Yeah.
Like it's weird when people order fast food and they just throw in a bunch of sporks and shit, and then someone's cleaning up and they're just like, and I'm always like, just don't. I had a conversation the other day. I said, the other shop, we need to get a water bottle in here and just have water bottles, and then people can drink from glasses. I hate all
big
the
like the sparklets. Or,
people are so weirdly. Yeah, big
Attached.
bottle.
The 10-gallon, whatever.
People they'll come trucking in cases of bottled water, just trucking, they'll just pile it up. Like, I'm getting water. And I'm like, get a sink, get a filter, use a glass. It bugs me just from a pure weird waste. It's also kind of ugly American shit. And I don't know why everyone is so easy with it. I mean, I did have that confrontation with my daughter where
she got you on that one.
she could tell the taste of the bottled water versus the big bottled water.
I'm with her. I can do it. Because when I quit smoking, I got addicted to water. Unfortunately, I probably polluted a lot. Sorry, Jason. But I'm like, I was drinking a lot. And I would recycle and stuff. Like, that was my, okay, I'll take it to the place and recycle it. Or I would give it to the homeless people who recycle, have all that. Because then they get money for it, whatever. So that was my feeling good. But honestly, I drank so much water that they were like, you can't tell the difference. And they did a water test multiple times, and I've always gotten it.
Really?
I'm so bad. But I need a small business loan for those aluminum things I keep leaving everywhere.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
So like $30.
In general, we don't need to hydrate nearly as much as we do.
You're right. It's an addiction.
No, but we didn't have bottled. The first time I ever saw someone carry a bottled water was on an episode of Real World Venice, and I was like, "They're carrying a water bottle, and there's a water bottle holder."
What's wrong with them?
We didn't have it before 25 years ago.
Oh yeah, no. And then it's just I don't know, but I'm the same way with the dishwasher. I just take my sink, my dish, I rinse it off, and I just put it back in the thing. I think we're way too there's so many people who just run loads of laundry.
Oof.
Like they'll go like, "You wore those pants 2 days ago." I didn't shit it. I'm fucking fine. And I come from a bad background, which is I used to work construction and whatever, 2-a-day football practices or whatever, like in this heat.
Right.
When a fucking T-shirt went south, it went hard to Tijuana, fucking south of the border. Now I put a T-shirt on and you've done 2 podcasts with that. I'm sitting in I'm just sitting here. It'll be 2 days in a row. Come on, don't be gross. I'm not doing anything in it. I used to sweat through it. There'd be shoulder pads over the top of it.
It would put itself in the laundry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, the shirts, my shirts after a day of construction were a fucking hot mess. And now I'm sitting in air conditioning watching people like, how are my pants dirty? I've not done anything in them.
Remember you wore a colored shirt under your pads and they get reverse sweat stains?
Mm-hmm.
Like it would turn white eventually where you sweated? Like under the pad or under the arm or whatever?
Yes. We're way too many showers, too many dishwashers, too many loads of laundry. Just fucking back off a little bit, everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to stop showering.
Stop showering.
Yeah, my grandpa used to say that. Don't shower too much. Your skin needs the Earl. I was like, okay.
I agree.
That's all the data's coming. Grandpa was right. It's going to be the name of my next book.
Because we're Irish and we get flaky, ashy, whatever.
Yeah.
It's Irish Spring, for God's sake.
That's the worst soap
That
ever.
shit will strip the top layers off your skin.
Just use a Brillo pad.
It's
That's disgusting.
I still was one of the commercials I would look forward to when they would do
it was cute, but it was
with the fake accent.
He would cut it with a knife.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do a move where the guy pulled out his pocket knife and start carving the soap. And they'd always have the hot chick with you got to find Irish Spring like from the 80s. They'd have the hot chick with the fake Irish accent in it, dressed up in sort of the garb, you know? Yeah, it was awesome.
Butter churning garb, basically.
It's disgusting. I think my mom bought it once, and then we started hiding it in a pillowcase and using it for fights.
That's prison style.
Yeah, hell yeah.
A fresh bar Irish Spring will pack a wallop. Yeah.
Ask my brother Jimmy.
Yeah.
Right across the... No, I'm just kidding.
And you can scuff someone pretty bad with that lava soap, too.
Oh,
You're just talking about prison yard soap fighting.
Beat down.
Liquid soap, you blind the guy
Don't
with.
waste Coke bottles.
Then you cut him with the lava soap.
Right.
Then you finish him off with the Irish Spring. That's right. And then you clean up with Dove.
That's the Irish way. Yeah,
That's
we
right.
use Dove. That gets
Floats.
Sorry.
I love Dove.
Well, while they're finding that, let's talk about Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. After months of silence on the Oscar slap, Chris Rock, he's now addressing it, usually on stage. This time, he referred to Will Smith's apology, saying, "Fuck your hostage video." The comment came from Rock's show with Dave Chappelle at London's O2 Arena on Saturday. Meanwhile, Chappelle's take was that Will Smith has been wearing this mask for 30 years, and he finally took it off to reveal who he really was, and he's just as ugly as the rest of us. He said, "Remember, he's from Philadelphia. No offense,
West Philly.
Yeah,
sorry,
like a hardcore, and he's been, like for 30 years trying to be this leading man and just
West
smile and take it.
Born and raised.
Right,
on the playground.
Where I spend most of my days." So in the video, Will said that he's tried to connect with Chris. His behavior was unacceptable. He's ready to talk whenever Chris is, but I don't think Chris has any interest in that. Why would he?
Well,
what difference would it make?
There's this. I feel like there's this pressure in the black community where you have to. Like, if Louis C.K. thinks I'm a douche, I'm like, I'm fine.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But you're a comedian and you're white. Don't you guys have to
get along?
Don't we have to see you hug next time when you run into each other? It's like, not really.
Yeah,
there's plenty
that's
of.
cool.
I hate Kevin Smith. Okay, fine. Life goes on. I don't have to fix it. When you're black,
But
you have
you're
to
right.
fix it. You know what I mean? Like, this is bad. bad for our people. People are going to judge. Like
That kinda
Kevin Smith
sucks,
is a
but yeah.
douchebag. Fine. He hates me. I hate him.
Yeah, it's mutual.
I sleep like a baby at
We're all
night.
good.
Sleep like a baby. Yeah, I don't like a lot of
Mostly
people.
white people hate me. I'm good. Almost every white person.
How are you doing in the black
hates me.
community?
I'm down one with David Allen Greer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but other than that,
You're good.
surprised.
Okay.
Holding your own.
Saw Tiffany Haddish the other day.
Okay.
Gave me a thumbs up.
There you go.
Before the scuttlebutt.
So we're all good.
You know what I mean?
Love Tiffany.
I'm saying I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good with the community.
Yeah.
But I'm
Linnell
not,
likes you.
Linnell likes me, black comedian.
you're-
I'm not. I don't burn a bunch of calories trying to mend a bunch of shit with
You're
douchebag
right.
white people.
Oh, you're going to be on stage
Yeah.
with Bellamy tonight?
Yeah, see
Yeah.
Bill Bellamy.
Great
but-
guy. I love Bill Bellamy.
But for some reason, there's a lot of pressure.
It's true. It is
Gotta make
unfair.
it up. I need to know what's happening with you two.
Yeah, it is
It's two
unfair.
people
But it was
that
also,
don't like each other.
It was extremely public, and they did like each other for a long time. So that's the only one I get. But like people are going, like you said, brought up Tiffany. They're going and asking the other, "What do you think?" It's like, look, it's dumb stuff. Don't let them handle it. Don't involve other people.
I'm guessing that Will needs it. Chris doesn't.
Absolutely.
Will needs it to get back in
Sure.
good graces. Chris doesn't give a
He
shit.
obviously is melting down, going through something. Chris wasn't. Chris is being Chris, telling jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's killing it on the road. My co-host Rick Ingram opens for him, so he's out.
He's killing it.
He said it's unbelievable. Every show is just one's better than the next.
Well, let
He's
me
just
tell you
still
how-
being him. He's not mentally unstable.
Right.
Will's going through something.
Someone comes up to me and goes, "Hey, Adam, Mark Ruffalo has a problem with you." I go, "Oh my God, I gotta lay a video down, see if I can right this wrong." I go,
We
"Fuck
should
that
try
guy."
to start things like that, where white people have to mend fences with other
White people don't care if other white
celebrities
people are
have to
angry at them.
Whites have to
Donald
stick
Trump
together.
is white and Joe Biden is white.
Oh, boy.
Do you think they
I
feel
need to
the
see a
necessity
handshake.
to mend the?
Do you
No.
think Biden knows Trump doesn't like him?
I don't know.
He knows
He
Trump
doesn't-
is white?
He might know he's white. Yeah. Speaking of white, we have Irish Spring, the
Here we
whitest
go,
of all the
guys.
commercials.
Here we go.
From 1979. It's a big part of my youth.
There they are. It's a strongman competition.
Oh boy.
Shirtless guys fighting in the dirt.
Pan flute.
Irish boxers.
You're a strong man, Brian. I am too strong. Then shower up with Irish Spring.
Is that all
double
chestnut?
deodorant soap. The very one to get a strong man fresh. Look, and these green and white stripes are two deodorants to get a man fresh and clean. What a fine fresh scent.
That's why I use it too.
She's doing a Swedish accent.
That's why I use it too. Hurricane Flurgan.
Oh, we got to hear her again.
Yeah, that
I
was
told you they had
Swedish.
chicks who couldn't do accents.
Plus, they
Wow.
shower outside. What's happening?
Fresh scent.
That's why I use it too.
Irish.
Is she supposed to be
That's why I use it too.
Scandinavian?
I don't know what that was, but I love it.
They look. It says on her
I wanna-
bio
Can
that she
do a
does
Donegal.
Cockney
Yeah.
and everything else, and they hired her on her looks, and
That's
they
amazing.
couldn't coax 5 words out of her that sounded Irish.
That was one of my favorite Man Show moments is when you're auditioning the new Juggies, and on the bottom of the resume it said, does perfect Irish accent.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, give us an Irish accent. And she kind of struggled and goes, O'Malley.
O'Malley.
That's all she said. That's all she said.
Wow.
Now you got
She
to
get
find
the job?
that.
Did she get the job?
She might have.
I'd have to see her. I don't think so.
Now,
O'Malley.
you all balk at my theater training from the University of Kansas, but we had to take
Oh.
accents and dialects, and we had to know the difference between a Northern Irish accent and a Southern Irish accent. We all had to be graded on a monologue from Dancing at Lunasa.
All right. Well, what would that sound like now?
I haven't done this in
Do
many
your
years.
voice exercises.
Let's see. I arranged to meet Danny Bradley there, Kate. He brought me back in his father's blue boat, and we had a picnic by the lake.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Then
Yeah,
he brought
good.
me down to his. I mean, I could keep going.
very
but you get the
Saoirse
idea.
Ronan.
What is
Thank
the
you.
what was the Irish Spring line? Because that's really the test.
Oh, right.
You're
And
gonna
I
have
think
to,
so,
That's why
too.
I use it too.
Let's hear it, Gina.
And that's why I use it too. And that's why I use it too. Lucky Charms, you're not going to
Oh,
steal my
that's
pot of gold. Oh, matey O'Malley.
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 That's all she said.
Matey O'Malley. I love
Well,
Matey
you got to
O'Malley.
understand hot chicks and what's on their
Oh,
resume.
boy. No two things could be further apart.
Yeah, so it's comedy gold just to set up a camera and ask them about
Yeah,
shit
no.
on their resume. You
It's
can
hilarious.
you can look for that. Let's bring the news home.
You
Gina
got
Grad.
it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. Hey, fucked Avril Lavigne.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Well, last but not least, there's the Jordan Harbinger Show, a different kind of sponsor for this episode. It's Jordan Harbinger. Love that guy. So if you're a fan of fascinating podcasts with interesting people, you should definitely check it out. There's an episode for everyone, no matter who you're into or what you're into. Jordan talks to Scott Adams about the persuasion in a world where facts don't matter anymore, or you can go inside the dark world of wildlife trafficking. You'll always find something useful to apply to your own life, like routine changes to boost productivity, or slight mindset tweaks that change how you see the world. We enjoy the Jordan Harbinger Show, and I think you will too. You can check it out. That is HARB as in boy, IN as in Nancy, GER. The Jordan Harbinger Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to finer podcasts. It's the Jordan Harbinger Show. All right, Max Pat, were you able to find the Mann show?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
It's chicken or bikini. I don't think she became a juggie.
You also do a number of accents, I see here. Will you give us a little sampling of the accents?
Which one do you want?
Try the Irish one, if you want.
O'Malley. It's just, yeah.
Hold on.
You can jump on with a pogo stick.
Good stuff.
Fantastic.
That's
O'Malley.
incredible.
All right, Austin, Texas, Cap City Comedy Club. That'll be tomorrow and Saturday. The Boz, Brian Bosworth's going to be up on stage, I think, on Friday.
He's going to be on during the podcast portion, yes?
Yes.
Oh, don't do Brian like that.
Stand-up will be the second show. You go to mcroll.com for all the live shows. Eleanor Kerrigan, the Comedy Store podcast, available wherever you listen to finer podcasts. Kyle Mann, BabylonB.com is where you go. And until next time, this is Adam for Kyle and Eleanor and Gina and Bald saying, O'Malley!